A lot of times I get to share with you the highlights, the winning things, the things that went great in a workout or a competition, like winning the CrossFit Games, and all of those workouts and talking through those workouts was really fun, and talking about how all that went just so well. And if you followed my journey to the CrossFit Games, you saw that there were actually some days where I was really worried and I had some doubt and I just wasn't sure. But just so that you know, I don't always crush workouts. I don't always have amazing training days. There are days where it's just a slog. It's just hard work. I'm not hitting lifts. I'm not feeling great. And so I thought I would share with you my thoughts around what it's like when things just don't go right in training. So there are definitely days where, you know, the skillet isn't hot. There's this phrase, if the skillet's hot, you got to do the cooking. And there are definitely days that I experience where the skillet is not hot and I'm just not feeling it that day. Or, you know, I take a look at my Whoop recovery and for whatever reason I am in the red or I'm in the low yellows on my Whoop, which means that I should probably dial things back on the next day. And there are days like that, probably more days that don't feel great than days where I feel just amazing and I'm ready to just crush everything. So this is a really common thing for me to not feel amazing as I'm heading into a training session, and what I do to approach training days when I'm just not feeling absolutely amazing, which is of course most days. So just making that really clear. So one of the options that I have is that I could just completely skip the day of training. Now this is something that I rarely do. I almost always accomplish a training session even on the worst of days. I mean, I have to be sick or absolutely broken to skip a training day. That's just my nature to stay on track and to train. But there have been a handful of days where it just made sense to completely skip the day. 2 weeks prior to the CrossFit Games, I got a COVID vaccine shot. I had already had COVID in October prior, so I actually got really sick from the vaccine shot. And I took 2 days off, completely skipped the workouts. And in the Road to Madison, which I'll try to post up here, a link to that, you'll see me talk about how that weekend, it was just really hard for me to skip. But I think it was the smartest thing. And every once in a while, you might need to just skip the day. If your body is just totally dead, skip the day. All right, that is one option. Plenty of other options. Another option is obviously to scale the workouts for that day. If it's a big training session, you may want to scale it. And I'll tell you that after I did the triathlon, I took about a week to recover. I started doing a couple of workouts post-triathlon, just getting back into the rhythm, but I definitely didn't feel full speed, didn't feel 100%, and my body was still recovering from an Ironman 70.3, which put my body into a brand new territory of pain, which was great. But what I did is I just scaled the workouts. And to be really specific about that, you know, I follow a training program. I follow Mayhem Masters training. And I follow generally the 35 to 44-year-old age group. Yes, I'm 45, but I'm barely 45. And I'll just follow the 35 to 44-year-old age group. When I was getting back into training over the past couple of weeks, post CrossFit Games, post Ironman, post off season, now I'm back to full-time training, I definitely scaled the workouts to the 45 plus weights, the rep schemes. It just made more sense to me to allow my body to catch up to full training mode again. And there are also other days where I just feel like that particular weight might be too much for me for that day. Get individual programming from Mayhem. Like Rich Froney is not calling me and telling me like, hey Jason, here's your workout. So what I do is I do look at the entire training day that I have in front of me, pay attention to what I've done throughout the week, pay attention to my body, and I may make adjustments accordingly to make sure that I'm moving safely, I'm moving with intention, I can move well, I can crush the workout, but I may scale that training session in some form or fashion. The other thing I might do is I might actually cut short maybe a particular lifting session. I'll do most of it, but if my body gets to a point where I feel like I'm possibly putting myself in jeopardy, I will go ahead and cut short. So for example, there was some back squats a couple of weeks ago. I believe it was 5 sets, really heavy back squats. I was just kind of getting back into lifting heavy again. And after the 4th set, I felt good, body felt good, but I felt some significant soreness already developing in my left hamstring. And I just thought to myself, you know, I'm not sure if I should do this last set. I feel this soreness. It's not injury, but my body is reawakening to lifting heavy. I'm going to stop here. Another example is yesterday I was doing 10 heavy squat snatches and then 10 heavy clean and jerks. The squat snatches went okay. It wasn't my perfect day, but they went okay. And when I got to the clean and jerks, it felt really, really heavy. And I'm not sure why. My body just wasn't feeling it, was feeling really heavy. And I missed a squat clean at 245 pounds, which is a fairly simple weight for me. I just missed it, and my head was getting a little bit weird. So instead of just trying to battle my way through that particular workout or that particular session and maybe have a bunch of missed reps, I don't want that to get in my head. I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm not feeling it today. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down and move on to the next thing. And I think that's a smart thing to do. You do good work when your head is in the right space, your body is in the right space. You might even be pushing your body a little bit, but once that slips and you start losing focus and you might be putting yourself in danger, let's stop. Let's stop and move on to the next thing. That's okay. We can come back and we can cook another day. When the skillet is hot, we cook. And on the other side, there's days when, you know, maybe we're supposed to be lifting a little bit lighter, but it just feels so good, and so we might actually go for something bigger or better reps. That is something that we can do as well. And then also, just have to remember that there is an element of grit that is required to be a competitive athlete, a high-level competitive athlete, or an everyday athlete. You have to have the grit, the determination to just get the work done. And so I'm not talking about putting yourself in risk or in danger, like I've already sort of talked about what we do on those days when that is a factor. But some days you just need to step up and get the work done. I don't feel like suffering every day, but I do have to do it. And I choose to do it. And I develop a bit of grit, a bit of character. You know, this ability to just do what I'm supposed to do today. You do it with work, that discipline to do the work you need to do, to be the dad that you need to be the spouse or partner that you need to be the athlete you need to be. You just gotta suck it up sometimes and just get the work done. With all that said, you have to listen to your body. You have to pay attention to what's going on in your mind. You don't want to miss bad reps and just build that kind of, mindset. And you also just sometimes need to push through and just go for it. So listen to your body, listen to yourself. And if you need some additional coaching or accountability, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I help elite athletes through performance coaching to achieve their crazy goals. I help all kinds of dudes from elite to beginner dial in their nutrition, because it's literally the foundation of all of this stuff. And I also help beginners get started on their fitness journey. If you're looking for any help, shoot me a DM, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. And if you like this channel, be sure to click the like and subscribe button, and so you'll be notified whenever I post something fresh and new. Thanks for watching.